At 0.08132, AFX has just stepped into a new era, not just because of its tokenomics or because of its AI-enhanced DeFi infrastructure, but because it has finally crossed a major psychological and technical threshold. AFX has officially been listed on OKX. And that single move, as quiet or as sudden as it may seem, changes the entire landscape of what this project is and what it can become. Because let's not misunderstand the implications here. This isn't just about another place to buy. This is about visibility. This is about unlocking exponential access. This is about telling the world, AFX is no longer a hidden gem. It's now sitting beside some of the biggest names in crypto on one of the most influential centralized exchanges on the planet. OKX is not some fringe mid-tier exchange. It's in the global top 10 by daily volume. It has institutional users. It has deep liquidity pools. It's used by trading bots, whales, scalpers, and long-term investors alike. For AFX to be listed here means that its credibility has been validated, its technology reviewed, and its vision acknowledged by a team that doesn't just list tokens for fun. That means due diligence. That means paperwork. That means internal meetings and performance reviews and liquidity assessments. And AFX passed them all. But the real story begins now. Because now the token is in front of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of users who never knew it existed. Now it can be accessed in a click. No more bridges. No more PancakeSwap confusion. No more telling friends to download MetaMask and buy BNB first. It's clean, it's simple, and it's active. What happens when a token like AFX suddenly finds itself in the spotlight of global CEX traffic? The charts respond, but more importantly, the narrative spreads. Social media chatter increases. Influencers take note. Bots track volume spikes. Telegram communities double overnight, and speculative momentum begins to build. And in crypto, momentum is everything, especially in the early post-listing days. That's when the biggest surges tend to occur, not always because of fundamental change, but because of sheer visibility. And for AFX, this is the first real taste of that visibility at scale. This is the ignition event. If you've been following the journey up to this point, you already know this project hasn't just been about hype. It's been about layered development, from staking mechanics to AI bots, from transparent dev reports to ecosystem clarity. It has steadily built an engaged community that didn't depend on price pumps to stay loyal. And now, with the OKX listing, that foundational loyalty will be tested and amplified by an influx of new holders. Because every CEX listing is a dilution of early community purity, but also a necessary evolution for mass adoption. The veterans hold the line. The newcomers bring the energy. And that's how critical mass is formed. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk charts. At 0.08132, AFX is still massively undervalued by most community projections. We're looking at a token with real staking utility, integration, and a roadmap that doesn't just promise, it delivers. Analysts have conservatively pegged short-term fair value at 25 cents to 40 cents based on pre-listing activity alone. But now, with OKX on board, that window gets shorter and that range gets tighter. The multiplier effect kicks in, and it's not unusual to see a 2x to 5x run in the first few weeks after a major CEX listing, especially one with strong fundamentals already in place. Remember what happened to similar mid-cap tokens post-listing. INJ, FET, RNDR, CRO, they didn't just go up, they multiplied. This isn't speculation for its own sake. This is based on behavioral patterns we've seen time and time again in the space. Visibility breeds credibility. Credibility breeds confidence. Confidence brings capital, and capital brings volume. And that's what OKX unlocks in real time. You can already see the order books shifting. You can see buy-side liquidity increasing. You can see Twitter threads spinning up, YouTube videos being posted, Reddit speculation being reignited. Because the listing confirms what the loyal base already knew, AFX is not just another short-term flyer. It's a long-game play that's been grinding toward this moment all year. Let's be real. Not every project gets a CEX listing, and not every token that gets listed survives the post-hype dip. But AFX is different because it didn't beg for this listing, it earned it. Through consistent updates, solid community growth, and real product delivery. And because it has something most tokens lack, an actual narrative, a reason to exist, a story to tell. From the AI bots to the staking interface to the DeFi bridges being built, the pieces are all there. And the CEX listing is just the signal flare. If you're watching this unfold from the sidelines, this is your wake-up call. Because this isn't about catching a pump, it's about entering a network before the next expansion wave. AFX isn't done. The listing isn't the final step, it's the next chapter. What comes next? Deeper liquidity pools, better analytics dashboards, API integrations, advanced bot automation, possible partnerships, and potentially more listings, each one bigger than the last. OKX could be the beginning of a cascade. And that cascade is where the exponential growth lives. We're now in the early days of what might become a parabolic narrative. But unlike meme tokens that rise and fall in a week, AFX has legs. It has a product, it has a team, and now it has a global stage. If you're holding, you're early. If you're watching, you're on the edge of the moment. The entry zone is still open, but it's shrinking fast. And once momentum takes over, price discovery becomes a runaway train. The key is positioning before the trend becomes obvious. Now let's talk strategy. Smart investors don't chase green candles. They position during consolidation. They look for strength, not noise. AFX has shown relative strength across weeks of low-volume chop. It didn't die. It didn't dump. It just held the line. That's not an accident. That's the mark of something structurally sound. And now, with the added liquidity and psychological validation from OKX, the floodgates can open, but only for those already in the water. And remember, this is still early. 0.08132 may feel like a high compared to the old days of 2 cents or 3 cents, but in CEX terms, it's pocket change. Many top 100 tokens began their climb from this exact zone. And once trading pairs establish themselves and institutional flows begin to notice, the climb becomes inevitable. The only question is, will you be part of it, or will you be watching it on someone else's portfolio update? The AFX story is still being written, but the chapter that just opened with OKX may be the most explosive one yet. Everything before this was groundwork. What comes next is acceleration, and it's all unfolding now.